At the dawn of the 20th century, mankind broke free of Earth's gravity with the successful launch of the first airplane, the Wright Flyer, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. It would be only a few short years before this revolutionary technology would find its way to the battlefront, as the world entered a new era of global conflict. Air power went from novel to essential over the course of World War I, as early airmen proved their worth in the field, carrying out reconnaissance and attack missions and dogfights that still capture the public's imagination. Aviation technology would rapidly evolve in the wake of World War I. By the 1930s, it was clear that air power was no longer an experiment on the battlefield. It was the key to victory. The Second World War demonstrated that air superiority could enable victories on the ground, while strategic bombing campaigns turned the tide of the war. But the high-altitude front yielded new dangers, including altitude sickness, hypoxia, frostbite, flak wounds, and bailout injuries. If the Allied forces were to prevail, the Army Air Forces would need to innovate fast, or risk ceding the skies to the Axis powers. It would take extraordinary leadership to turn the tide. One such leader was an Army Air Forces surgeon named Colonel Malcolm Grow. By the time Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, Malcolm Grow had already become a standard bearer in the field of aviation medicine. A veteran combat surgeon, he had served in both the Russian and US armies during World War I, before turning his focus to aviation medicine in 1928. Grow served as chief flight surgeon of the Army Air Corps from 1934 to 1939, where he would dedicate his tenure to aeromedical innovation, co-founding the Aeromedical Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson. In 1942, Grow was appointed as surgeon for the 8th Air Force. The men of the 8th Air Force Bomber Command faced some of the grimmest odds of the war, tasked to complete 25 bomb missions before they could return home. A mere 25% of the crews completed their missions unscathed and uncaptured in the year 1943. The greatest risk came from small, low-velocity projectiles from shrapnel or flak that could tear through bombers and bodies alike, causing 70% of their wounds. Grow needed to find a way to protect airmen's bodies without overburdening their planes. Taking inspiration from medieval armor, Grow developed the first flak vests and jackets, body armor light enough to wear in combat, but strong enough to stop shrapnel. Early tests of the Grow vest in 1943 were a resounding success, leading to a major procurement order. At the start of 1944, the 8th and 9th Air Forces had procured 13,500 vests. Once they were deployed in the battlefield, wound rates dropped by 60%. And Grow was just getting started. His team pioneered heated flight suits to prevent frostbite, wind-resistant face masks for high-altitude missions, and the first steel aircrew helmet. They even designed special combat rations, because long-haul bombing missions left crews dangerously underfed. In war, every problem demanded a solution. American airmen played a crucial role in turning the tide of the war. Air power allowed the Allies to strike at the heart of enemy territory, crippling their supply lines and breaking down their resistance. On May 8, 1945, Nazi Germany would surrender, followed by Japan on August 14, 1945. This victory had a high price, as nearly 68,000 American airmen never returned home. A number that would have been much higher had it not been for the efforts of patriotic innovators like Grow and his team. Their work saved untold numbers of Allied airmen and laid the foundation for modern aerospace medicine. In 1947, the Department of the U.S. Air Force became an independent branch of the armed services. 2 years later, the now Major General Malcolm Grow would be appointed as the first Surgeon General of the brand new Air Force Medical Service. Today, the Air Force Medical Service still follows the path Grow forged all those years ago. From battlefield surgery to space medicine, his spirit of innovation lives on. Because the mission remains the same. Keep airmen and guardians ready, anytime, anywhere.